The purpose of this video is to give you an overview of the spelling sensitivity system, which was developed by my research partner Ken Oppel and me 10 years ago. So the spelling sensitivity system is based on our multilinguistic model of spelling and word level reading, and we published several papers on this model. The model accounts for the contributions of 4 major areas to spelling and word level reading. The first is phonemic awareness and awareness of the sound properties of words. The second is awareness of orthographic patterns, which refers to spelling patterns that are used to translate typically sounds within a base word or a stem to print. Morphological awareness is similar to orthographic pattern awareness in that it refers to the ability to transfer morphological elements, such as a past tense marker or a juncture change, to print. And then finally, our model addresses the importance of storing adequate mental graphemic representations. So a speller might have an appreciation of the number of sounds in a word, might also appreciate and recognize how those sounds are typically spelled, however fail to employ the specific spelling for that lexical item. Throughout these videos and in the manual, you'll see multiple examples of spellings that represent or fail to represent these areas. The spelling sensitivity system was designed to basically quantify the multilinguistic model and have resulting metrics so that we could capture changes in development or changes among groups or between groups to an extent that's more sensitive than simple right-wrong scoring. In the spelling sensitivity system, the investigator or the clinician can gather a spelling sample, and you can use any medium of your choice. You can have a spelling word list. You can have a curriculum-based list. You can take connected writing samples at the paragraph or the narrative level. Ultimately, whatever you do to gather your sample, you end up with a column of target words and a corresponding column of the way that the student spelled each target word. The target word is parsed into its base word components, juncture, and affix elements, and then the corresponding spelling also is parsed and aligned with the particular elements in the target word. Each element is categorized and scored according to the level of linguistic knowledge represented by that spelling. So if a sound or other spelling element is not represented in a spelling, that element is given 0 points. If it is spelled illegally, not plausibly, it doesn't adhere to a spelling rule, then it's given 1 point. If it is spelled plausibly, legally, just happens to be incorrect in a particular word, it's given 2 points. If the spelling is correct, it's given 3 points. These element scorings are then averaged, and several types of data can come from the system. You can get an overall metric, or you can get percent categories for each kind of target type. Elements that are included in the base word of the stem. How often a juncture change is spelled correctly or not. How often an affix is spelled correctly or not. The manual covers the use of each type of score, as well as the videos also present examples. If you want additional information on the SSS, you can also take a look at some papers that Ken and I have written, and these are covered in the references at the end of the manual. Probably the most recent and papers that are devoted solely to this come from a perspectives issue, Perspectives on Language and Learning and Education, from October 2013. We also published a paper in Assessment for Effective Intervention in 2010. In order to install the CSSS on your computer, you have to download the important files. This file that says cssmac.dmg is the version that you would install if you're working on a Mac, and this is the Windows version dated April 12. Depending on which system you use, I would encourage you just to follow the instructions for installing any software on your system. For Windows, you just double-click on this application and it's installed. Once you've installed the system on your computer, then you import or create your dictionary, and that is discussed in the next video.